come to witness to us today. And he's known at least in Ontario. So with that, he even brought his assistant with him.
Yep.
And she's going to help him. Is that right, Dave?
Hopefully.
So Dave, we give you 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, well.
20, he can
that
have
ain't gonna
20.
help.
20 minutes.
But we know that you like to talk just a little bit more than that. So you got 30 minutes at the most. So this is David.
Hopefully Ruby will just sit there, but we'll see. Let me give her something to play with.
You never know.
That was funny.
She wants Papa's phone.
I have notes. I normally don't even look at them because it's mostly in my heart, that everything that happened to me. I don't need a microphone. I can talk loud. When I was growing up, I used to ask the question, why don't I have ever seen a miracle? I mean, you read the stories about Jesus healing people. Why haven't I ever seen anybody do that? Start walking, or a leper or whatever. Just never seen that, a blind person get healed. And then as I became an adult, people would ask me what my testimony was, and I would say, well, it's not really that great. I've gone to church my whole life. I've never been in trouble, never been on drugs or alcohol. I got a great family, and that was my testimony. Be careful what you say. So this was around 2012. I started an exercise program because I wanted to get in shape and everything. And it was a 90-day program. You've always seen these things on TV, 90 days. 45th day, I was doing great. Day 46, my lower back started to hurt. I've had back problems, so no big deal. Go to the doctor, gives me some medication for back problems. Super Bowl Sunday came, which was in February 2013. Went up north because I'm a 49er fan. They were in the Super Bowl, and I was at my brother's house. And my brother said he had this bad feeling there was something wrong because I wasn't talking. I was just sitting there. And I started to cough. And when I coughed, I got this horrible pain in my chest. I thought I was having a heart attack, I really did. He was very concerned. He was in the medical field in the Navy, so he was very concerned. Right away, you better go see a doctor. Yeah, I know. So the wife and I drove home Sunday night. I got up Sunday morning and I went to the doctor, and she went to work, and I got an x-ray done. And I go home, I'm tinkering around the house, and the phone rang. It's the doctor. And the doctor says, you need to come back to the doctor's office and bring your wife. Well, what does that tell you? You know it's not good news. So we get in the office, and he says to me, he says, David, the x-rays show that you have 100 lesions in your body, your whole body. I felt fine. I didn't feel sick or anything. I thought, oh, okay. What's next? Well, we're gonna have to do a bunch of tests. And a lot of you I know have been through all these things. I had bone biopsy, lung biopsy, liver biopsy, bone marrow test. I had a bone scan. I had colonoscopy. I had whatever the other one's called that goes down your throat. I've had probably a dozen MRIs. I can't do MRIs anymore because I get claustrophobic. The worst one is when they put a screen or a cage on your head and you can't move. I can't handle that. But anyway, so I go through all this tests at Pomona Valley Hospital, and you feel like time slows down. I just felt like everything had slowed down. It took forever to get the results. So I finally got an appointment with an oncologist, and he makes us wait in the lobby for 4 hours before he calls me in.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I'm saying things like, man, I just want to die. And I got in trouble for saying that. But he called us in the back. He says, I'm not going to beat about the bush. You have metastatic melanoma, which is not curable, 100% fatal. He said, I give you maybe seven months. Still not freaking out, still calm. Doreen was crying, my wife was crying. And I said, well, I know somebody who's a doctor that has more power than you. And he went, yeah, your faith in your health, because I was pretty healthy. Other than that, will probably heal you. I go, we'll see. So I started getting worse. I had radiation. I lost 40 pounds in 2 months. I couldn't keep anything down. Every time I would eat something, it would hurt. Or if I drank water, it was like drinking battery acid. That's how much it hurt. I threw up so much that it destroyed my esophagus, so I had to take medication for that to heal it. So, good days, bad days. I actually had to take fentanyl, which you all know about, for pain. It was a little patch. It lasted for 3 days. Every 3 days we had to change it out. When I think back, the pain was excruciating. It was just so bad. I could hardly walk. I was walking with a cane. They told me that my bones were becoming brittle because of the cancer. And when I was in the radiologist's office, my wife said, "You guys are doing nothing for him." And the doctor said, "Well, to be fair, there's really nothing we can do. But call UCLA. They're always doing some kind of a trial. See what they say." So Doreen calls him, and I was in this guy's office 2 days later. And I walked into the room, and I told him a joke. And he says, "That's what I want to hear, a positive attitude." He says, that's 75% of getting better, having a positive attitude. And I always wore some kind of a shirt with something on it. I had a shirt that said, "He has risen on time." He said he was going to start taking pictures and start a collage with it. Because he thought, "Man, he has some great shirts." Those of you who know who Danny Kaye, he looked just like Danny Kaye. His name was Dr. Chmielowski, Polish. And bedside manner was amazing. He put his arm around me. Well, all I can tell you is that we have a new drug that we're experimenting with. We want to try it on you. Designed for lung cancer, though, not for my cancer. But what have you got to lose at this time? Yeah, okay. So now I gotta look at my notes. There's something I was supposed to say. Oh, maybe not. Anyway, I'm starting to think of scriptures about, Jesus said he'll never leave us or forsake us. Isaiah says about, by his stripes we were healed. I started thinking about those things. And I probably said it one time, why me? I think we've all been there, why me? I've had people say, well, why not you? Okay. So what happened is that I started taking this drug called Keytruda now. And Keytruda has been approved by the FDA a long time ago, and they're using it on 16 different cancers right now. It's a miracle drug. And people will say to me, well, I give their credit to the doctors. I said, but think about it. If I would have got that disease a year before, I'd be dead. I wouldn't be alive. It came out right when I got sick. Right when I got this disease, the drug came out. And so anyway, he put me through some more tests too, more MRIs and things like that. The funny thing is, or interesting thing is, they don't know how I got it. They couldn't find a starting point, because by the time I got diagnosed, it was already stage 4. And they had told me it was a fast, aggressive moving cancer. So the thing that I thought I was gonna die, they did a bone scan, and I had 16 tumors on my back the size of walnuts. And in my head, it's like, I'm done, I'm done. And my daughter, who took it very hard, I had told her I would not give up, that I would fight. And so I fought, tooth and nail, but there were days where I wanted to die. The pain was so bad, just kill me, and they're like, don't you talk like that, getting mad at me. And I remember going to a baseball game when I was still sick. Didn't enjoy the baseball game. Had good seats, everything. I just, going to a restaurant, when I would sit down to eat, the smell of food made me sick. I had to run to the bathroom. I would start crying. My daughter and wife would be holding me. And they didn't know what to do to help me. They just didn't know what to do. And some of the things in my mind I didn't say out loud because I know I'd get in trouble, like I want to die and things like that. But so I started on this drug. I went into this room. I always had to see him first, or go get blood work crazy thing was they were taking 20 vials of blood out of me every 2 weeks. 20, because they were testing for all of everything. So after I get into the room, you know, it's intravenous. It's not like chemo. I never had chemo because the doctor said chemo would not work. It's too far, you know, advanced. But it was I remember because they brought it was in a powder, and they mixed it with saline, and I had it for 1 hour every 2 weeks, but it knocked me out. I was so tired, and Doreen always drove us down there, and I would start stressing out because I don't like being late for anything, and you know, we gotta be there, we gotta be there. Traffic goes always bad because it was a Friday morning, we had to be there. So anyway, started doing the drug, and you know, still couldn't eat, still didn't feel good, still hurting. And it was probably about 3 months later, I got up out of bed, walked down the hallway, and I froze. And Doreen goes, "What's the matter?" I go, "All the pain is gone. There is no pain." Of course, we both, you know, cried, thanks God. Then they told me, you know, ups and down, you have a tumor that's in your leg right here. We're gonna have to remove your femur because of it. So I go, you know, you're like, what? So about 3 weeks goes by, we go back into the doctor. He does another scan, comes back scratching his head. He goes, "Well, I don't know what happened, but that tumor's gone." And I went to like this to Doreen. I go, "Miracle number one." So after the 3 months, the doctor put me into did scans. I had scans done every 3 months. And that's probably why I'm claustrophobic now, because it got to be too much. So they did a scan, and I'm sitting there in the room, and this man walks in. Don't know who he is, and my doctor's behind him, and they're both crying. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm dead. I'm done. You know, that's why they're crying. It didn't work. And this doctor's name was Dr. Rivas. He was the head of research. He put both his hands on my shoulders like this, and he said, "The tumors were shrinking." He goes, "You're a miracle, my friend, son." You know, and I started crying and everything. So this went on for 4 years. I took this drug for 4 years. And my doctor was such a good guy, good sense of humor. I had to go to another doctor once a month and take this drug for my, it was like calcium because my bones were so brittle, to help with the bones. That doctor that I went to, that was the same doctor who had diagnosed me, who I didn't like, because he just said, "Go home and die." That's what he said. So I've been going, it was once a month. I've been going for 12 months. And I was feeling so much better. You know, I could eat. I remember my first meal was at Claim Jumper. I ate a porterhouse steak, a baked potato, and the biggest piece of cake you ever saw. I ate all of it, and I was sweating. So I told my doctor, I said, "Hey man," I said, "you know, I'm sweating," and he goes, "That's a new symptom, I guess." But now I remember I need to look at my notes. There was a day though that I was so sick, I was in the bathroom, you probably know what I was doing in there, sitting on the bathroom floor, and I was fit to be tied, and I screamed at a picture that was on the wall of Jesus holding a lamb. And I said to this picture, "Why aren't you helping me?" And from that day forward, I started getting better. Even though I was on the drug, I knew that God had a hand in it. And a little voice in my head said, "I've got you. I haven't left you. I haven't forsaken you. I'm right here." And I'm like, you know, and at that time, okay, he's going to heal me. Either I'm going to die and I'll be healed, or I'm going to be healed here. Well, he healed me here. I've been off the drug for 8 years. I've been cancer-free for 8 years. I still go once a year for scans. But then life threw me another curve. My wife got sick a couple years ago, and she passed away. So people will say it's ironic, you know, your wife was beside you. I remember when she was doing chemo, she was telling me, "That's my husband, and I almost lost him, and here I lose her." And it's been over 2 years already. It's amazing how time flies. But in all of that, I have this beautiful granddaughter, as you can see, is behaving very well. And she's a very good girl. And I watch her 50 hours a week. I love doing it. We have so much fun. Usually if I'm not in the room, I'll start hearing Papa go out, Papa, Papa, you know, because that's right, I'm talking about the, but I have to say though that, you know, sometimes I know we take God for granted. We know He's going to be there. It's like, if you guys ever watched The Chosen, there's some scenes in The Chosen I like when bad things will happen and they're saying, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do it? Jesus says, because the Father and I allow things to happen to increase our faith. Yeah. And when during past, him and I talked, was I angry? Oh man, was I angry. I was so angry because my wife never got to see her. And I was angry for a while, you know. Still loved God and I knew He was there for me, but the why questions. Why? Why now? Why this? My daughter was the same way. Why is this happening now? You know, and I'm like, I don't know. And I had another picture, but I forgot it. I know you've all seen it. It's a picture of a woman hugging Jesus. In the bottom it says, first day in heaven. And that's what I strive for. That's my wife running to Jesus. And I know that someday I'm going to be doing the same thing. So just, you know, faith is an amazing thing. You really can move mountains with faith. You just have to believe. And I believe that He was going to heal me. And He did. You know, and I've given my testimony a dozen times. I was I used to drive truck for a living. I was in the truck terminal. There was like 30 guys there. And I told all of them my testimony. Next day, a guy comes up to me and says, I only heard the end of it. Can I hear all of it? Come on over. And I know a lot of people say I talk a lot. Well, I have a lot to say. You know, I have a lot to say. But I thank you for the time. Never give up. You know, Jesus is always going to be in your corner no matter what. Thank you.
Amen.